My wife breastfeeds my baby very strangely. My wife breastfeeds my baby in the middle of the night. Every time, she would tell me not to turn on the light. Every time I asked her why she didn't turn on the light, she always avoided talking about it. Until one day, I finally couldn't resist taking a picture with my phone, but I was so shocked by what I saw. What the hell is going on here? I am 35 years old. I have been married for 7 years now. When I was 28, I met my current wife. She's a very introverted girl. She never liked to communicate with others since she was a child. Because she grew up in a very bad environment, her parents fought and quarreled a lot. Her father was very violent and he always hit her mother. And whenever they fought, my wife would always hide in the corner. So she became very introverted. She didn't like contact with anyone. So much that many people thought my wife was mentally unstable. In fact, now I think it's true. She and I were introduced to each other because we were already 28 years old, and it was our first time to fall in love. So I cherished her extraordinarily. Soon we got married. Under the care of I and my mother, my wife also slowly became more and more cheerful. She started to socialize with neighbors and talked and laughed with a lot of people. So I thought of having a baby soon. My wife also agreed with me, but my wife took much time to convince, and we had to go from hospital to hospital for examination, which showed that my wife had infertility. In order to have this child, my wife tried all kinds of methods. Whenever she heard of a place that could treat infertility, she would go and try. The result was to no avail. But just when we were almost desperate, our neighbor came with a good news. And this is how everything went south. Our neighbor was an older woman. She came and promised us that she had the solution. I didn't trust the woman. She seemed really weird. I told my wife about it, but my wife got very defensive. She said she didn't mind going through whatever our neighbor suggested. I tried to make her see that the neighbor she was going to for help didn't also have a child and was almost 50 years old. Anyways, fast forward to when my wife started frequently visiting the neighbor. She would now come home sick and extremely tired, as if she had been drained. She would also ask that we had sex in a very strange way to conceive. It was extremely strange. Sometimes she would want us to go to weird places to have sex too. My wife gradually started losing her mind. She became like a mad woman. When my wife told me she was pregnant, it felt weird. It felt like a lie. She was staying in a dark room, turning off all the lights and speaking to no one, not even me, except the neighbor comes around. My wife was pregnant, but her belly wasn't growing. There were times where I had wanted to run away from her because of how strange she was acting. That's how, after almost 9 months, my wife still hadn't given birth. It was so strange. Then, at almost a year, one day I was outside when the neighbor came in and went inside my house. Minutes later, she came out and said my wife had given birth to a baby. I asked the gender of the baby and she didn't respond. I asked to see the baby and also no respond. My wife had a knife by her side all through. Throughout that period, I stopped my family from visiting because I didn't want them to see her that way. I couldn't even tell them she was pregnant because I didn't understand the pregnancy. Now, the baby was here and I couldn't see the baby. She would only breastfeed the baby in a dark room, especially at night. All I hear is baby cry and all I see are legs. She hardly took the baby out to the hospital, and when she had to bath the baby, she would do it strangely. She also used to cover the baby face completely before she breastfeeds the baby. One night, I was fed up. I knew she would attack me if I turned on the light, so I decided to take a picture with my phone. What I saw was so shocking. My so-called baby had a face of a very old person. It was squeezed and rumpled and had very long ears like an elf. Hell.